thank you so much for visiting me again. I know it's been a while, but I'm here today with my Cuba vlog, finally, after 4 months. So I just wanted to share a little bit about the trip with you guys. I'm going to link all of the detailed information on my blog. It's down below. So when we first got to Cuba, we obviously had to go through customs, and that took a little bit of time, but it's not really an intense process. You just go through a line and then you just head out the door. When we got to the airport, we met up with our driver. We arranged this before we actually got to Cuba through our Airbnb host. They set up this driver for us, and it only costs $30 each way, which is pretty reasonable considering that we had to go about 20-30 minutes to get to our Airbnb. So this is a view from our room. As you can see, it's a quiet street and we're pretty close to a lot of things. So the first day we decided to explore, and we went walking around our neighborhood in the city of Havana, and then we walked to Old Havana. We walked to a plaza in Havana. So Havana is known for having a lot of plazas, and the first one we went to is where the Capitol is. And the funny thing is, the Capitol is actually modeled after the US Capitol, so it's really interesting to see, and it looks exactly like the one we have in DC. And so when we first got there, we walked through the street with a lot of souvenirs and stuff. And one thing I would recommend is not buying cigars from these stands, because you're not going to be getting really authentic cigars. You want to buy them from someplace trustworthy, so buy them at the hotel, or I actually bought ours from our Airbnb host. So I think that's a really smart way to go if you want to buy cigars. So when we got there, we just were walking around, and in this plaza, this is called Paseo del Prado, which is pretty close to us, so we walked there a few times. They have a bunch of hotels, a bunch of restaurants, and at every hotel there's always live music there. So the culture scene and the music scene, which is really well known in Cuba, is awesome. We got great art. We actually bought a CD from somebody there because they were so good, so we really enjoyed the art scene there. A great way of transporting yourself around is through a rickshaw. Rickshaws cost about 6 or 7 kuks depending on where you want to go. Most of the stuff that we wanted to go to were pretty close, so it didn't cost us that much, except for this one guy, because he said he didn't have change. We only had a $20 bill, so I don't know if he was scamming us, but that was the most expensive rickshaw ride that we took then. And when we took this rickshaw ride, we went to Old Havana, and Old Havana is known for its cute cafes and its stone streets, and a lot of other squares and plazas too. This plaza that we went to is called Plaza of the Cathedral, which has the giant cathedral in Havana. Tourists are in there all the time. It's so beautiful. When you walk in, you're allowed to take pictures. I saw people praying there, so it was a really cool experience. And if you want to take photos, they have these ladies on the side dressed up in, I guess, old traditional Cuban wear that you can pay them, 10 kuks or something to take photos with them. This is another plaza we went to. This is called Plaza Vieja, and this had a lot of restaurants as well, and it ended up raining that day, so we kind of stayed at the restaurants longer because we just wanted to escape the rain. What we drove by here was El Malecon. This is literally the seawall, and at night they'll have parties on the street with music and food and people just dancing. We wanted to have a fancy-ish dinner, so we ended up going to Hotel Nacional, which is a really nice hotel in Cuba. All the celebrities stay there. But I hope these tips were helpful. I've linked more information on my blog, which is down below. And if you have any questions or comments, or if you've been to Cuba, just leave something below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!